With the story The Stocking Stuffer, please welcome Michael Boegh. Adjust the mic for everybody, okay? Okay. We'll adjust it to your height. I didn't change it. Okay. Got it?
How's that? Everybody hear me? All right. We're going to talk about Grandma's stocking stuffer. Several years ago, when I was finishing up my third semester in college, my sister Cindy offered to let me come back to Nashville and stay with her and her family for Christmas break. Even though they were still devout Mormons at the time and me, not so much, they had a spare room and a spare car for me to use, and I wanted to spend time with family over the holidays. So I road tripped from Idaho back here to Tennessee once the fall semester ended. Now Cindy, my sister, and her husband Doug had a Dalmatian. His name was Pepper, and he was a family pet for my nieces, both of which were small children at the time. Pepper was good with the kids, but about as rambunctious as a dog could be. A typical Dalmatian, if you're familiar with the breed. He didn't do well on a leash, and he certainly didn't listen to commands, and it seemed like all he ever wanted to do was run, jump, bark, and roll around in the grass. But he didn't tear shit up either, so he had that going for him, which was nice. The problem was, they lived on the busy main road coming into their subdivision, and none of the yards had fences. So as soon as the front door would open, the dog would take off at full speed, running around like a spaz, and no amount of yelling or calling him back would get him to come back for a good 10 minutes or so. It's like he needed his freedom and wouldn't be restrained. This happened pretty much every day, and everyone got used to it, thinking that eventually the dumb dog would just get himself run over. The neighborhood had plenty of kids, lots of toys in the yard, the big wheels in the driveway, stuff like that. And every day there were always people out and about walking their well-behaved dogs, pushing strollers, and enjoying the cool early evening after the very mild December afternoons we were having that year. And while everyone in the neighborhood knew who Pepper was, nobody could ever catch him once he escaped the prison of the house. He was just too fast. But he'd always come back, worn out, and lay down on the porch when he was done spazzing out 2 or 3 times a day. Eventually, everyone got tired of trying to walk him on a leash like a civilized dog and just let him do his thing. It seemed to work. So this was Christmas season. And the neighborhood, being a newer development in Franklin, was full of young, upper-middle-class housewives who loved to entertain. And if there was anything they loved more than entertaining, it was organizing stuff. The entire subdivision was overly decorated, almost, but not quite, to the point of being Griswold-esque. And since the weather had been so nice, plans had been made for a block party of sorts, with 2 different church groups providing carolers and everyone encouraged to set out holiday treats while families shuffled from home to home, visiting, singing, admiring the decorations, reveling in the holiday spirit, and judging each other. The evening of the big event came while my sister and my nieces were making candy trays and doing last-minute preparations for the block party. My brother-in-law Doug and I, along with 2 of the local Mormon missionaries, were down in the basement putting together bicycles and a huge Barbie dream house for the kids. After those chores were done, we were to join everyone upstairs and participate in the festivities. My grandmother also stopped by that evening. Now, Grandma was a big woman, bigger than me. And she always drove cool muscle cars, Mustangs in the early 70s, a big Starsky and Hutch car after that. And that year, she was driving around a blue Firebird. Besides being a big woman, Grandma, I'm sad to say, had turned into a slob during her later years. Her house was always a disgusting mess. Her garage was much like the compact room on the Death Star, knee-deep in trash, with unknown creatures lurking about underneath. And her car, as cool as it looked on the outside, was a rolling dumpster on the inside. Mostly fast food wrappers and old tissues, and everything was covered in dog hair just for good measure. That's just the way she lived. She was a hoarder before reality TV told us what hoarders were. Adding to that hermit mentality was the fact that she was also not very social. She'd pop in and out at random times, but never stayed long because she really didn't like talking to people. So on the night of the block party, after dropping off gifts and visiting for a bit, she decided to head out just as the first group of carolers arrived. They were from the local Baptist church, all dressed up like they'd come straight from a mass adoption event at the local no-kill shelter for ugly Christmas sweaters, standing on the porch ringing the doorbell. We menfolk were just finishing up when they arrived. The four of us were carrying out the empty boxes and packing trash outside just about the same time the caroler showed up and Grandma decided to leave. She opened the front door to go, and of course Pepper the dog saw his opportunity to make a break for it, and he darted out through the crowd of strangers who had just started to sing. He was free at last. My brother-in-law Doug yelled for him to come back, but of course the dog ignored him and started doing laps around the adjoining neighbors' yards while we were stacking the broken down cardboard boxes along the side of the garage, careful that none of the previous contents could be discerned by prying little eyes. Well, Grandma's car was parked next to the garbage cans, which were up next to the garage, and she decided to do a little cleaning and throw away as much trash and fast food wrappers as she could reach while still sitting in the driver's seat. While scooping up the trash to dispose it, she couldn't actually reach the garbage cans without getting back up out of her car. I told her she was a big woman. So the armload of flotsam and jetsam she collected just got tossed out into the driveway. Not caring about the mess she made, she backed out and left, knowing that one of us guys would pick it up since we were already dealing with the trash and boxes that we brought out. All four of us, me, my brother-in-law, the two missionaries, saw the mess and went to pick it up before the dog got to it while the choir launched into Oh Holy Night. We were still a few steps away when Pepper got there first, but the fast food wrappers and paper bags didn't interest him at all. The driveway was sloped, as most driveways are, and the dog was attracted to the object that had started rolling down the driveway towards the street. Yes, in her haste, Grandma had inadvertently tossed an 8-inch black dildo onto our driveway. Why she was carrying it around in her car remains a mystery, but once that thing started rolling down the hill, it proved to be irresistible to the dog. So he loped over and snatched it up like it was his favorite new toy. My brother-in-law and I both looked at each other with a, "Is that what I think it is?" expression on our faces, and Cindy, standing on the porch watching this, was absolutely mortified once she realized the church choir and all the neighbors were watching too. I couldn't help but laugh, and it only got worse when Doug took off chasing the dog that he had absolutely no shot of catching. Imagine trying to run down a Dalmatian that clearly did not want to be caught. He was yelling and swearing at the dog, and the dog just thought it was the most fun he'd had all week, sprinting around, carrying a large synthetic dick in his mouth, while the neighbors thought it belonged to my sister. Through laughter-induced tears, I decided to help by yelling, "Go, Pepper, go!" While my brother-in-law, like Ralphie's dad when the furnace broke down, wove a tapestry of obscenities that, as far as we know, is still hanging in space over Lake Michigan. The Mormon missionaries tried to be polite and not to laugh at first, but being 20-year-old guys, that didn't last long. Cindy turned several shades of red darker, slammed the door on the church choir, closed the blinds, and sat next to the fireplace and slowly died of embarrassment, wishing she had something stronger than mulled cider to drink. The best part of the unfolding scene came when one of the neighbors was heard to ask, "Mommy, what's he got in his mouth?" Go ahead and explain that one, Mom. Of course, the younger kids, already amped up on candy and cookies and sugar plums, couldn't resist the dog running around, and several of the younger ones clumsily joined in the chase. Their moms suddenly panicking and yelling at them to stop, screaming, "Don't you dare touch that dog!" Pepper finally wore himself out after several minutes of the greatest chase scene since the Blues Brothers and dropped a slimy, drool-covered phallus next to the front door. By then, nobody wanted to go pick it up and throw it in the garbage can. The neighbors and carolers were still out there, half of them trying to unsee what they just witnessed, and the other half laughing just as hard as the three wise men who had remained standing in the driveway. Once everyone had cleared out of the front yard, the dog came back inside on its own. My brother-in-law grabbed an old towel out of the linen closet to pick up the now chewed-up dildo from off the front porch and send it back to the island of misfit toys. The kids had no idea why the adults were still laughing so hard after the fact, so we just blamed it on the eggnog. Once he got his breath and calmed down, Doug threatened to buy Grandma a replacement and put it in her stocking for Christmas, but that's where my sister drew the line. She'd had enough embarrassment for one holiday season, so it was never mentioned when Grandma came back to open presents with us on Christmas morning. As the years go by, that story has become legend in our family and in the old neighborhood. Grandma and Pepper are no longer with us, but the story of that dog carrying around a nightstand novelty in his mouth, being chased by my brother-in-law while running around amongst the respectable church-going Christmas carolers is the kind of holiday memory one never forgets. Most families share the story of the Christ child and the virgin birth on Christmas Eve. Not ours. The story that gets retold at our holiday gatherings is the one about the Dalmatian and the dildo.
Michael Boegh, everybody.